morning. I am just rolling out of bed here, and I gotta put this little clip together for you, I guess. Some of you guys were paying attention to this project I was doing, and in the comments there's some mentions of the Skylight thing, and yeah, I put it in last week. And the plan was to have a roofer come and seal it up. There was an original skylight there, and it was closer to the end of the wall where the drain is for the roof, and if that gets clogged up, it would puddle up like a lake up on the roof and started leaking. So I put a new skylight in. I just moved it up on the roof more, so it ate up about half of that hole. So where the other half of that hole had been with the original narrower skylight, I had to do a patch there. The problem is, what am I doing? There's nothing in that. I'm not even awake yet. Alright, so the problem with that was I didn't have the material, and I didn't want to buy a whole roll of roll roofing and a whole roll of tar paper to do a patch that was about this big by this big. It's a waste of money, and a place to put it. So I figured if I have a roofer come, they could do that. And I called and I made an appointment, everything seemed good. And then on Monday morning, I'm talking to them, and they're telling me that, you can come and look at it, but they're booked out a month in advance, or a month and a half. But the guy was cool. Turns out he owns a company. He's 32 years old, Korean American, really nice guy. So he came over and got up on the roof with me and looked at what I was doing. And at this point, the skylight, the frame for the skylight, and the skylight itself had not been, hard mounted yet. It was just sitting there because I figured if they were coming, I'd have them do the flashing and everything. But I talked to him about what my plan would be, because he's not going to do it. And he's like, oh, you're fine. That should all work. So that's what I did. Now, I'm doing this little preamble here for you because I did shoot some clips and take some pictures, but it's not like a pro video. I mean, none of my videos really are, right? Let's face it. I do this little coffee drink in the mornings. I put some collagen in there, and instant coffee and honey, and some little dash of ginger and some cinnamon, and I mix that up in this mason jar here, and that's what gets me going in the morning. So anyhow, once I realize he can't do it, my mind starts reeling with it, right? Okay, what am I going to do? So I put some goop underneath the frame. It's a 2x4 frame on end. I drilled through the top of the frame. I think I did 4 bolts, and each one 8-inch by 3/8 lag bolts. So I squished out the tar right down on top of everything into the framing underneath that I installed. And then for the patch, I took some of the old roofing material, that was left over when I made the big hole for the 4x4 skylight. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot skylight. And I took a section of that and I put it in a little patch area, but it wasn't perfect, So to kind of seal that up, I found there's new products these days. I've done roofing before, put whole roofs on, but that was, 38, 35 years ago. And I don't like doing that. It's not my thing. Let somebody else do that. But I went to the Home Depot to get some stuff and some Henrys and whatnot. And I bought flashing. I had a roll of flashing. I was going to make my own, like bend it like I did all those years ago, but they just sell it now. Like a 3x3 L. And I got some of that. And then I found this material. It's like a foil tape with an adhesive, like almost an 1/8 of an inch of adhesive. Pretty wide, like 6-inch. So I started at the bottom, with the pitch, and I did rows of that overlapping it, and then I took the Henrys and went around the perimeter of that, plus around the whole perimeter of the flashing I put in. I set it in Henrys and then used a few roofing nails where I needed to hold it down. And then I covered those up, the heads of those with the tar, but also did a nice perimeter. And then I went over there when it was pouring rain, Wednesday, no leaks. So that's it. I just figured I'd tell you what I did there because you're going to see some pictures and clips here, and I want you to know what I went through with that. I started the roofing seal on Monday, finished it up Tuesday, just in time for the storm. I still got to go over there and clean up and do some other things for them, but I'll get to that. That's it. I hope you enjoy this and my whole unprofessional thing. I'm gonna enjoy this now and get my day going. Alright, so I'm up here on this roof. I'm not telling you that what I'm doing is how you do it. It's just how I'm doing it. I've got this really cool product here. It's a stick down. It has like a kind of like a metal top to it that sticks to itself really well. Because this was a patch that I patched in using some of the roofing that was left over when I made the large hole. It's not super correct, but the roofer, the guy who owns the company, came by yesterday and we talked about it, and I told him what I was planning to do, and he goes, oh yeah, that's fine, that'll work. And he was really good. He gave me a lot of good advice, and one of the things he also told me was I could coat this whole roof with a silicone product. He says, a homeowner, if they do it themselves, they could save 10 grand. So I'm probably going to go over this whole thing anyhow with that product in the spring. But what I did here was I used 8-inch lag bolts right through the 2x4 frame directly into the framing I installed. So it sandwiched everything, and I put a bead of roofing tar underneath of it. And so you can see it kind of squished out here. And when I put the skylight on for last night, it kind of stank down here in the room. So what I'm doing is I'm using this product here and I'm lining the inside of it just as like an odor barrier. So I'm going to finish that up. And then I got some flashing over here. So I'm going to flash this. When I flash it, I'm going to put a layer of the Henrys down first and embed the flashing in it. And then I'm probably going to use this product again. I'll probably have to go get another roll of it and then go over the top of that flashing. Or I might just take some of the Henrys for now and just use a trowel and go right over the edge of the flashing all the way around. And that should solve the problem. The big issue here really is this drain here. And I talked to the guy about my ideas, and he recommended that I don't enlarge this. He says leave it as it is, clean it out real well, and then it's really up to the homeowner to clean this off. Now, if you guys have been here a while, I talked about this person. Great client. She's got these 2 boys, and the 10-year-old, I'm always talking to him about responsibilities and cleaning his room, and every time I come by, it's like he's telling me, hey, I did this, I did that. So he wants responsibility. And I was explaining to him that this should be his job. He should come up here every week and sweep this off. But then I thought, because the roofer told me, he said, hey man, you just got to blow this off, especially before it rains. So I had my client order a Makita cordless blower, 18 volt, that works with my batteries, comes with a battery and a charger. So I'll show him how to use it, and he'll have fun. He'll get up here in 10 minutes, blow the whole roof off, it'll be clean, and then he's earning his allowance. So, yeah.
Alright. I don't see how this can leak. So you saw what I did. Then I put the flashing on. I've got roofing tar underneath the flashing, and then I went around the top of it as well, the whole perimeter. I did have to use some roofing nails. I don't like doing it because every nail is a potential leak spot, but as you should be able to see here, I got a shadow out of there, but you can't see any nail heads. All covered. And yeah, I just hope this is good enough. I'm going to clean up the edges. There's some roofing tar on the skylight itself, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll clean that up with, I've got some lacquer thinner and some rags. I'll clean that up, make it nice, put some screws in it, and you can see that. This guy just started using that gun over there as I started making this video. So you can see that shiny tape in there. Again, that's more of a odor barrier for inside. And our drain is right here. I cleaned it all out. So if it rains tomorrow, we should be good. I mean, I don't see how this leaks. We'll find out. I'm just doing this for those of you who are asking. I know I showed it in a couple other videos. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like doing this sort of stuff, but if you like your client enough and the money's right. So yeah, it looks a little bit messy. I made the frame probably a little bit bigger than it needed to be, so I had to really get it in on this corner. It was a little bit tight, so I had to like wedge something in there and push the flashing back and put a foot on it, and I got it to fall right down over the top of that. So we should be golden. And like I said, I'll clean all that up. And that is it for now. So have a good day. Be good to one another. Hey, go to school, study, be smarter than me, so you don't have to do this sort of thing. Okay, it's been pouring rain and no leaks that I can see. Alright, so it's working out pretty good, but you can see how this puddles up here anyhow. Even with that just little tiny, I swept all this off yesterday. Just that little bit blocks it up. So yeah, we're gonna have to be super diligent about this. But this is good. This is good. So it seems like it's working, which is very good.